At the center of the Ukraine scandal the president is being impeached for is the abrupt removal of the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch. Now, you might remember her. She testified quite memorably before the House Intelligence Committee. She's a decorated American diplomat, and President Trump brought her up in that infamous call with the Ukrainian president, saying ominously that she is, quote, going to go through some things. During the House impeachment proceedings, a senior State Department official in charge of Ukraine, George Kent, offered a rather evocative line to describe why there was this active campaign to remove Marie Yovanovitch.
Now, some in Ukraine probably disliked her efforts to help Ukraine root out corruption. Is that correct?
As I mentioned in my testimony, you can't promote principled anti-corruption action without pissing off corrupt people.
One way of understanding why she was recalled and removed from her post in Ukraine is that she simply got in the way of a corrupt scheme involving Rudy Giuliani, Lev Parnas, Igor Fruman, and the president. A scheme to corruptly extort the Ukrainian president into, among other things, manufacturing dirt and announcing an investigation of his political rival. Okay. But yesterday we learned that the former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine's removal was actually a much more concrete part of this scandal. Because it turns out the guy that Rudy and his pals were pressuring to manufacture the dirt, Ukraine's discredited and allegedly corrupt former prosecutor Yuri Lutsenko, it appears that he actually made the removal of Yovanovitch an explicit condition of his cooperation. It was essentially a quid pro quo. Lutsenko saying, look, I don't like this Yovanovitch. I don't like your U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. You get rid of her, and then I will give you that dirt on the Bidens. That discredited Ukrainian prosecutor had come to despise Yovanovitch because she had been publicly criticizing and his allies for their corruption. And so that prosecutor made clear that he would only give Trump and his allies what they wanted if they took care of his Marie Yovanovitch problem. The evidence is in those texts that were released late yesterday. Here's one message the prosecutor sent to Lev Parnas, translated from the Russian. It's just that if you don't make a decision about Madam, that would be Yovanovitch, you are calling into my question all my declarations, including about B. Be there, almost certainly, Biden or Burisma, Ukrainian gas company where Hunter Biden served on the board. That's not all. A few days later, that prosecutor messaged Lev Parnas to say he had made progress in digging up dirt on the Bidens, but then added this, quote, and here you can't even get rid of one fool? Parnas' response, she's not a simple fool, trust me, but she's not getting away. Trump recalled Yovanovitch the following month. I'm joined now by two people who have been following this very closely, Rosalind Helderman, political investigations and enterprise reporter for The Washington Post, and Josh Kovensky, investigative reporter for Talking Points Memo. And Rosalind, let me start with you. I thought your lead did a great job of sort of clarifying this, and I'm just going to read it. New materials released by House Democrats appear to show Ukraine's top prosecutor offering an associate of President Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, damaging information related to former Vice President Joe Biden if the Trump administration recalled the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. It's more concrete in these texts than we've ever seen it, right?
Yeah, it really is. And in fact, the new material that was just put out by the House this evening shows that there's a lot more. We're still going through it. It's really like dozens and dozens of messages exchanged in Russian between Mr. Parnas and Yuri Lutsenko. I mean, this was a long, ongoing communication between them on these two topics. What Parnas and Giuliani wanted, the investigation into Biden, and what Lutsenko wanted, which was the removal of Marie Yovanovitch.
And part of this to me, Josh, and you spent 3 years reporting in Ukraine, you speak Russian, you're sort of familiar with the cast of characters here before you came to this beat at Talking Points Memo. Part of it to me is that it kind of makes the story make more sense than in the past, because the obsession with Yovanovitch never quite was that clear to me. Why her? Like, why the obsession with her? And what you see from this is that it's not their obsession with Yovanovitch, it's Lutsenko's obsession with Yovanovitch, and they are trying to pay his price to get his cooperation.
Right, and it's really clear from the texts that were released today that it's, as you said, it's Lutsenko's obsession with Yovanovitch that really drives Parnas and, by extension, Giuliani to push for her removal. What's really interesting about the texts is that they pick up in early March. And what happened then is that Marie Yovanovitch gave a speech calling for the firing of a top deputy of Lutsenko's and also criticizing him directly for failing to fight corruption. And it's from there, you can see in the texts, he's texting Parnas, she demanded that a citizen of mine be fired. She's criticizing me. And he immediately, even before John John Solomon starts publishing the articles on March 20th, Lutsenko is writing to Parnas saying, look, why can't you get rid of her? Where will she go? All of these things.
So this is Lutsenko's, this is his vendetta,
right,
essentially being channeled through a back channel to the president. And Rosalind, as has been reported before, as you note in the article, Giuliani was in talks to be paid by Lutsenko as they together sought damaging information on Democrats.
Yeah, that's right. And there's actually new information about that just this evening, too. Just a lot of texts back and forth where they're getting into the details, and Giuliani is asking, when can we draw up the documents? I mean, that was not a passing fancy. He very seriously considered being retained by Mr. Lutsenko.
And this, it makes sense of it makes sense of the Yovanovitch obsession, all of the effort put on her, which is that Lutsenko's kind of playing them a bit. I mean, he's basically saying, like, I have in this box the thing you're looking for. I have with me the magic bullet that will destroy Joe Biden, and I will let you see it, and I will give it to you if you do me this one favor. And when they can't get that favor done, they're extremely desperate and frustrated.
Sure, and I think it's crucial to note that there's no curiosity from Parnas about whether or not
it's true.
It's true, right? Exactly. And I think there's a really revealing exchange at one point where Lutsenko says, "Hey, look, I've found records of $500,000 in payments from Burisma to Seneca, which is a company that Hunter Biden co-founded." And Parnas is like, "Oh, how about you send it to me?" And Lutsenko replies, "I'll send it to you through the new ambassador."
That's exactly it. You give me what I want. Here is that part of that exchange. Parnas, I was asked to personally convey to you, again, to Lutsenko, that America supports you and will not let you be harmed no matter how things look now. This is in March, right after that speech, right? Soon everything will turn around and we'll be on the right course. Just so you know, here people are talking about you as a true Ukrainian hero. And then Lutsenko's like, I have copies of payments from Burisma. Like, here's the dirt, buddy, but I'll give it to the next ambassador. Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.